Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another Saturday afternoon. And I just want to share something with you before we start. Yesterday, something very funny happened with me, and I thought it was sad. And then I later on realized, though, no, it was not a Saturday, but it was a Friday. And so that's how I decided to come on my usual Saturday live today. And I'm looking forward to have a amazing interaction of the conversation with each one of you. So welcome Jyoti, welcome Arya, welcome to this another Saturday afternoon, and I'm sure we'll have a very insightful uh, conversation of the communication with each other. Jyoti, I've sent you acceptance. Like in somehow I don't know why we are not able to receive. Let me try inviting Divya and Arya also. So let's see. So as I was sharing with you that I forgot the time. So Jyoti, yeah, yeah. Hi Arya, how are you?
Hello, good afternoon. How are
Good
you?
afternoon. I'm good. Good. How are you?
I'm doing
What's
well,
up?
thank you.
So where are you these days?
I am in Kasargod.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, where are you? Are you in Pune today?
Yes. I'm in Pune only. Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. So how is it going for you? How's life? How's work?
Yeah,
Everything?
going well, thank you.
Okay.
What's the topic of discussion today?
So actually, yesterday I was talking about time consciousness, and most of the time you also must have seen and observed with many people. Hi, Jyoti, welcome.
Hi.
Hello. Hi, Arya.
So you have observed and seen that most of the time people keep on saying that we don't have enough time. I'm struggling for time. I'm not able to do certain things because I don't have the time to do it, even though I want to do it. And so time becomes the most easiest excuse for us at times when we don't want to say do something. You say I don't have the time for doing it, and at times when you don't know have any other excuse, you say that I didn't get time. And so yesterday, what happened is I was watching a video which was shared by one of my mentors, Jyoti Noor. You also would be knowing him, Brigadier Sushil Basin. He's not only my mentor from the army, but also later on when I stepped into the coaching community, he was the first one who I went to for learning the nuances of becoming an online trainer, oblique coach, or mentor to begin with. And he always used to talk about how can you create more time to do things, not to do more work, but to do things that you want to do and which you are not able to do because or you do not have time. You're busy with your work. And so I was talking about that, and he gave us a very, I would say, live example in terms of like everybody has a bank account, you know. You have a bank account, Jyoti has a bank account, I have a bank account, and when we have a bank account, he asks us as to whose money is there in the bank account.
Ours.
So it is ours. So many times people say the company is putting the money, but the yes, company is putting that money as your salary into the account. But the moment it comes into your bank account, it is your money and not their money. It is the money being paid to you for your services or for the work that you are doing for the company. Now, then, the second thing he said was that if I tell you that every day in your account, I'll put in 18,600 rupees, and I tell you that money is available to you only for 24 hours, then what will you do with that money?
Spend it.
Withdraw every penny.
You will withdraw every penny. Yeah. And you'll not leave a single penny in the account. However, when it comes to time, uh, So 18,600 is the number of seconds that we have in a day, or 24 hours in a day. Converted to second is 18,600 seconds. So 18,600 seconds is a huge amount of time. But if we look back on our daily routine, or daily the way we use our time, are we utilizing every second of our time?
No.
No.
No, no. So he said, if I convert that time into money or currency, then what will you do? Then what can you do differently, or what will you do differently to ensure that not a single second of your day is wasted in unproductive activities? And from that, if we leave out 8 hours of our time, for which is the ideal time which every person should have for sleep, it may vary from 6 to 8 hours, and in some cases 4 hours also. So if we deduct the sleeping time, then balance amount which is available to us, how are we utilizing that? And that was the thing which I was talking about, and that make me realize that actually speaking, there's no shortage of time for us in whatever we are doing. And when we talk about time management is not the key anymore. One has to be time conscious, or another term he uses was time miser. How miserly will I give my time? Like, for example, all three of us are here on this live right now. You are investing your time. Jyoti is investing her time. I am investing my time to do something productive and to send out a message across to our audience who are watching us. So they are also spending or utilizing their time in a productive activity. But when we are only using that time for doing some frivolous things, or some things which are not very productive, then what we do? So that was the question. So now I would like to have your view about this. What I said about time, first to Arya, and then let's go to Jyoti. What do you have to say about this?
I mean, I think there's no other better. I think there's background noise. Let me go inside. A lot of birds are chirping out. Yeah. So what I was trying to say is, like, there's no other better explanation about how important time is rather than the bank account example that you gave us. What I feel about time is, more than anything, it is about priorities. So we do have time, and we say that, I can't make it, or, I don't have time to do that. But to be honest, if each activity, or if a person is important, like, you tend to prioritize, or you make time for it. So for example, if I want to do journaling every night, like I want to write, do a gratitude journal activity every night before sleeping, and I just say that, no, I mean, today I don't have time, I just want to sleep. I mean, if you genuinely enjoy doing a gratitude journal activity, you will, irrespective of anything, you will do it, right? So if that is a priority to you,
Yes,
so what I believe is that, the reason of saying that, I don't have time for this, or, I can't make it, it all surrounds on how important it is to you. And based on that, irrespective of how busy you are, you make sure that, you complete that activity, or you bring it up. If not today, then at least tomorrow, and you try to enjoy it wholeheartedly. So
yeah, absolutely.
so that's one thing I would like to add to this.
Yeah, thank you, Arya. And yes, one thing is very, very important as to it also boils down to our priorities. What is important for me, or what is important for you, that will may define as to how I want to utilize my time, or how I will take out time to do the things which I prioritize in my life. Yes, definitely, it is a very, very important thing for all of us to remember. So yes, let's go to Jyoti. Hi, Jyoti. Yeah,
Yes, Karnal. Yeah, rightly highlighted by Arya. we need to make the activity interesting. That is important. So if we make the activity interesting, definitely we will be able to figure out. And I'll tell you, Colonel, what I believe in 2-minute rule. If something is gonna take just 2 minutes, instead of delaying it further, just do it immediately. So if you do it immediately, I need to create a video, I need to create a reel. Even I'll just give you a small example. So entire day I did not get time to go on Insta Live. So what I did is at 10 p.m. night, every day I'm going 10 p.m. night. That is the time that I'm getting, because this activity is important to me and I love doing it. So something, if you love doing, you will figure out a time for you, even if it is late night or early morning or anything. And you know what? People say a lot of times, it is related to this, so that's the reason I'm sharing. People say a lot of times that I can't do this. I do not have experience. So, day before yesterday, I did an activity with my client, and that is really important. And he was shocked looking at the result. I said, okay, what are the things that you can't do? Just write. Just write 10 things that you cannot do. And he wrote 10 things. I cannot make PPT. I cannot do this. I cannot do this. Now I said, instead of can't, convert it to won't. Write the same statements and do it with won't. So once you do, I won't do. So that is something you have decided in your brain that you will not do, no matter what. No motivation, no inspiration can inspire you. It has to come from within. So if that is something that you want to do, you will do or you won't do. There is nothing that you can't do. You
Absolutely.
choose not to. That is important. Yes.
Absolutely, Jyoti. So you brought out a very important point here, that it is also one is a priority, as brought out by Arya. Second thing is the kind of decision or you take, or what you decide, or what kind of importance you give to a particular activity. And yeah, you're very right when you say that most of the time we say we can't do it, or however, actually we say I will not do it. But seeing the situation or seeing the person who's in front of you, uh, we decide, or we try to be a little bit more, as we say, politically correct, and instead of saying I will not do it, we'll say I cannot do it. So it is a polite way of doing it, saying that I will not do what you want me to do. Yes, and so if we change that can't to won't, yes, I will not do it. Okay, if it's my decision. I don't want to do it. I will not do it, and or I will do it at my own time when I feel like doing it. So here, this is more to things which somebody else is telling you to do. And like for one more thing is that when we talk about our work, when we are at workplace, many times it is very difficult and at times even impractical for us to follow a similar kind of approach here, because that is our bread and butter. Because if I say no, I will not do it, I might lose my job, or I might not get my salary, or I might not get that promotion that I am looking for. So here again we have to draw priority based upon the task, or based upon the role that we are playing in that particular organization. And also at times when we are dealing with our immediate boss, we also ask them, okay, if you're giving me 4 tasks to do, now you please tell me which one is most important for you, so that which you want me to do first. And many times they will say, I want you to do all the things together, and they give me a deadline. Then I will decide as per my thing. Okay, I will finish all the things. And, try to finish all the things in the designated time or time allotted. But what to do first and what to do later, I will choose, or I will decide. And you must have also seen that most of the time what we do is the things that are easier for us, we do them first. And the difficult tasks or difficult activities that we have to do, they take a back seat, and they take a lower priority most of the time, especially at workplace. However, when it comes to our personal life, when it comes to certain things like your passion or your hobbies, or certain things that you want to do in your life for yourself, that is the time we find that we are not having the time to do these things because I'm so involved in my work. I have got a 9 to 5 job, out of which 2 hours I have to drive down to my place of work, 2 hours I have to drive back. And by the time I reach home, I'm so dead tired that I don't have the energy left to do anything else. Uh, and that is another very, very common thing which we had seen happening in people. However, after COVID happened, the entire scenario changed. Now you are at your home. You have all the time in the world. You don't have to go to office, so your traveling time has gone. You're working from home, so you don't even have to get ready to work because you're working. You can just change your t-shirt or put up a little bit of makeup and sit in front of the camera and do your work if you have to attend a meeting, and then other things you can do online. But here also you must have observed that a lot of people struggle with still finding the time to do things they were trying to do for themselves. So now I would my question to both of you is, when it comes to your own personal work, hobbies, or things that you like to do, or you want to follow a passion, you want to do certain things for, say, for example, for your own personal entertainment or satisfaction. Then, what is the right approach as per you, or what do you do? What is the kind of approach you follow to find time for those things?
Uh,
Anyone can go ahead first.
I can just ask one question, that do we miss eating food? No, right? So when we are hungry, it's not that only when we are hungry we eat food, right? I mean, we need food. So just like that, like there are hobbies or there are passions that are fueling us. So
Yes.
as a child, there are two types of things. One is like tangibly, it can be scalable. It's just like it's more about passion perspective, and another is more in terms of it gives you joy. It's hobby.
Mhm.
If we can like, if it is again like priority, importance, whatever we would like to say, but if it is that much of importance to you, then I believe that irrespective of anything, there is so much of resistances out there. Even today I was talking to a client of mine, and she is very she's been smart, she's very good with her coding and everything, and lately she's had this resistance of not performing well, because recently her work was not recognized and there was someone else who didn't do as much of work, and she got promoted. And that what happened in that case was, she was like, if I'm not getting recognized, why should I work? And that led to a lot of unproductivity in her life. So I mean, again, like, is that your passion? Is If that's the reason why you got into this job, you just change the style of, the way you portray yourself, or find out ways, it's all of this. I feel like if you genuinely want to pursue something, you will make time. I mean, there are
Yes,
so many
absolutely.
people out there. I mean, if I was someone who was working 1 hour one way, so 2 hours of my time, I would have just spent some time while I'm on the way. It could be a
Yeah.
podcast. If you like to listen to a podcast, listen to a podcast. If you want to read, you can read. Even if you can't dance, then you can at least watch dance videos.
Mm.
I mean, of course, I completely understand that a person gets exhausted by traveling with work. I mean, especially if someone is working for 12 hours, 16 hours, it's exhausting. But then, coming from a healthcare background, I would like to mention that mental well being is very important.
Yes,
Why are you working? You're working for yourself, right? For yourself and your family.
absolutely.
If you cannot, if it is not, if you cannot take 5 minutes break or 30 minutes break, or if you cannot log in like 30 minutes before your work, of course deliverables, projects, deadlines are important, but once in a while, if you can't do that, then why are you earning? What is the point? So it to be honest, the world is not going to end if you don't if you take that 30 minutes, if you're not going to take that 30 minutes back of your life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you need to communicate properly. If you need that extra 30 minutes, you want to get out early from work, or if you want to reach back, you need to plan your day. It is difficult sometimes, because I completely understand there are a lot of people who are struggling with time. But if you genuinely want to do this, again, if it is a priority and importance to you, you will figure out. You will
Absolutely.
figure out. So the, there is a lot of resistances out there these days. What I've observed, like, I'm not able to, I don't have the money to invest, or I am broke, I want to do that course but I'm not able to do that course. Or college students are saying that I want to pursue this course but I'm not able to do this. I mean, I've seen so many people who have been working part time and who have been funding themselves and also doing work. And there are so many courses out there these days with
Yeah.
online digital era, and with COVID out there, you can do so many things and you can earn in so many ways. So if you truly have passion, and if you have that positive mindset towards, like, working towards your goal, then things will work out. And you just need to prioritize yourself, and you need to understand what is important and why are you struggling so much. If it is for yourself, then you should see if it is worth it. That's it.
Absolutely. So Arya, one thing which I want to just to as a reminder for our audience is that what you said in between, why is that particular thing important for you? That is very very that will be one of the deciding factors whether you will find time for doing that or not. And excuses. So if we want to make excuses, we can make 100 excuses to not to do a certain thing. Then similarly, we can find 100 ways to do certain things when that we really want to do. And we must have observed. I have observed in myself also in my life, and you must have also observed in yourself as well as people around you. Many times, what when somebody tells us to do a particular thing, we'll say no. That is a natural reaction, and because we do that time we are not in a mood to do that particular thing. But when we want to do it, then irrespective of whatever may be the situation, we will find time. We will find a way to do that thing. And so yes, prioritizing is one thing. Then knowing your why and what is the importance of that particular thing where you want to do for yourself. And as you said, finding 10 minutes in a day, if we really want to, is not a very big thing to do for all of us. Yeah, Jyoti, let's hear from you.
Yeah.
Your experience.
Actually, very rightly explained by Arya and Colonel that if you want to do something, you will get a reason. If you don't want to do, you will get an excuse. That's a very known fact. So how important is your why is important. I'll tell you my story. Till last year, I was not into video editing at all. I used to create videos and I just used to upload it on all the social media. I had no thumbnail, nothing, no music, nothing. And I used to put it. Then all of a sudden, I came across certain digital marketers who offered me that I will just for trial basis, I'll edit one of your videos. And he did a disaster with that video. I thought I would have put it just like that. The raw was much better than the edited one. So I put it, I paid him 500 for that particular video. But the point is that triggered me, okay, even if I want to hire someone, I should be at a position to teach him how to do it. So even if you are hiring someone, you should know the job. He cannot fool you that this is the best version and this is what I can do or this is what I did, right? So at that point in time, I got into YouTube videos, I got into CapCut, I did everything to learn it my way, and that's how I did a couple of my videos, and that's how right now I have someone who is editing my videos. But basically, when I say, hey boss, you're talking to someone who have done it, so you have to come from a place who have seen that, done that, then only you can instruct or guide or motivate or inspire someone.
Absolutely.
So we talk about walk the talk, don't talk the talk. 85% of the people out there, they just talk for the sake of it, right? They don't implement anything in their life and they just talk for the sake of it. The point here is you should do it and then talk about it. That is important.
Yeah. So, Jyoti, yes, absolutely. That is another very, very valid point that you gave, where that at times, you know, we, especially in our coaching community, we say that if I am a coach, my first priority is to coach people. Now, if I have to focus on my coaching, then if I have to do certain other things, I might as well hand it over to the experts who will do it for
Mm-hmm.
me, and I am not dissipating my time and energy into certain things which are not really very important for me. However,
Correct.
if I even if I outsource a job like making a video for me or editing my video, and but if that person is not able to understand my idea as to what I want to put across to my audience, or what message do I want to communicate to them, then it will be a disaster. So yes, it is good to learn. It is very, very important to learn everything. You should know at least the basics of everything, whether it is video editing, whether it is creating social media posts, whether it is creating content. And thereafter, when you give the task to somebody, it is also very important for us to express ourselves very clearly in terms of what exactly we expect them to do, and what kind of product are we looking for, and what kind of message we are trying to put across to our audience. Once we have communicated these things to our the person who we have outsourced the job to, then it will be easier for that person also to produce the product or the thing the way you want them to do. And also it will over a period of time, it will create a kind of a assurance among the two of you, that you just tell that person and you just forget about it, and he or she will produce the thing that you are looking for. So yes, again, the especially in the current scenario post COVID, I personally feel that COVID was a blessing in disguise, because it forced us to adapt to the changing circumstances and changing work culture. Everybody, whether they were government officials, whether they were in the private sector, IT people were as it is used to working from home, but even teachers and students, everybody had to adapt themselves and change as per the changing circumstances. And as Arya had mentioned earlier, yes, now when you know that there's no other choice but you have to change. Now, whether you do it willingly or whether you do it willingly, again, that will also matter. If you do it willingly, it'll be everything will become easier for you. But if you're doing it unwillingly, or if you feel that no, yaar, majburi mein karna padta hai, then you will never be able to succeed in getting that. So, moving
Colonel,
forward,
I'll
yeah,
add one more thing here. I'll add one more thing here. When we talk about, I heard from a lot of people through LinkedIn only that on LinkedIn is a platform where everyone is educated. But I
yeah.
heard from a couple of people that, there's a Hindi term, वहाँ पे लोग शिक्षित हैं, लेकिन
Mm.
दीक्षित नहीं है.
Yeah,
So knowledge without implementation is just information. So if you are not implementing whatever you are learning, it is of no use to you. So that's what made me go into LinkedIn when I heard from digital marketers that LinkedIn is important. Within a year, two of my previous accounts got restricted for reasons unknown to me. Then this particular account wherein I grew to 9,000 followers, that is, when we talk about atomic habits, right? Atomic Habits is such a beautiful book where it is said that it is only repetitions. So once you
yeah,
learn something, until and unless, so knowledge is 20%, right? 20% you adopt through YouTube videos, through documentaries, everything. But till the time it is not coming to your body, your actions, it is not getting implemented. And the more your body is involved, the more repetitions are happening, and that's how implementation happens, right? So there comes a point when this 20% is getting transferred to 80%, and our body gets into autopilot mode. So that's what happens to each one of us when we talk about, are we implementing these things, as Aya talks about mental health, right? Is she implementing? Yes, definitely. It is shown on her face, on her body language, every sphere of her life. So that's what, if we are talking about someone, definitely we are implementing these things in our life. So whenever we are trying to do something, just don't do for the sake of it once or twice. Do do it as many times that your body knows this is step one, this is step two, this is step three. Like how we learned swimming, how we learned driving. Start 3 months to 6 months, it is like your entire body, mind, your all the sensory organs are involved. After 6 months, it is on autopilot. That's how each and every activity works. Whatever you want to learn.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Jyoti, and I see a lot of audience have joined us. So if somebody wants to share their viewpoint, please, you're most welcome. You can either ask me to add you onto the screen, so we can have your you live sharing your experience, oblique sharing your points of view. Or otherwise, you can even share your view or points in the chat with us. And while Jyoti was talking about atomic habits, one more thing which came into my mind was that most of the time everything starts from our mind, what is going into our mind, and our mind creates the thoughts. And again, your state of mind, as you mentioned, whether I'm thinking, I am coming from a scarcity mindset or I am coming from a abundance mindset. If I am coming from a scarcity mindset, I'll only look at problems, I'll only look at excuses. And for everything that I don't want to do or I'm not able to do, I'll satisfy myself by giving that excuses. I'm not satisfying anybody else, or I'm not giving the reason to everybody. It is actually giving to myself. And similarly, when I'm coming from abundance mindset, I will say, okay, there is a challenge in front of you. Now, what can I do differently to overcome this challenge? Or what can I do to overcome this thing? Or what can I do so that I do not have to depend upon somebody else for minor things? And also, how can I become a better version of myself? That is a very common phrase being used these days. How can you become the better version of yourself so that you can achieve what you're looking to achieve? So, when it comes to thoughts now and actions, as you mentioned, converting your thoughts into action and then making those actions consistent so that they become your habit. And once that becomes a habit, then you will not sleep or rest until you have completed that particular activity. It could be like you gave an example of swimming, or maybe going for a walk, or Arya talked about reading, podcasting, or even dancing for that matter. Depending upon whatever you want to do or whatever you like, or you will find a way out to do it. And of course, so if we just for the sake of those who are joined later, to summarize what we have talked about till now is that one is how can we become time conscious, what all the things we can do to so that we are not managing time, struggling to manage our time, but we are consciously utilizing our time in doing certain things beyond our work to pursue our hobbies or other things that we want to do in our life, pursue our dreams or pursue our passion. Second thing we also talked about was how can we find our why? Why is very important, because why, if we have a very valid reason in our mind to do a particular thing, we'll find a way out to do it. Third, as you mentioned, was thought patterns, and also converting those thoughts into action and then actions into habit. And once a thing becomes a habit, then you will not lose it. In fact, you will not rest until and unless you have completed that particular activity in your life.
One simple question that everyone should ask themselves. Okay, both of you, you know that, but still I'm asking you, why do you brush in the morning? What is the reason for brushing in the morning?
Dental
Someone
hygiene.
will say bad breath, someone will say freshness, to clean our face or whatever, right? That is not the reason. The reason is habit.
Yes.
You have been put into that habit from the very basic when you were very small. Initially, your parents used to do it for you. Now you got into that habit and doing it. So make it so obvious that it gets into habit. And if it is a habit, you are more likely not to procrastinate and you will not, postpone it. That's how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. Jyoti and Arya, for the sake of, for the benefit of our audience, can you just share with them as to what is the importance of having the right kind of mindset? Because everything flows from here. So, what is the importance of having the right side kind of mindset in today's environment to succeed in whatever we are doing, whether it is creating a habit, whether it is following a passion, whether it is creating more time, whether it is, you know, of course, some people are workaholics, they like to work. That gives them a big high. So, whatever we want to do, but how having the right kind of mindset will makes a difference in our life.
Of course. I mean, I would like to give an example, not necessary about the topics that we have just discussed.
Mhm.
Like there could be people around you who just say that, you're useless. तुमसे ना हो पाएगा. Just like that.
Mhm.
कभी ना कभी तो someone must have told you this as a
Yes,
kid, or your teacher, someone must have shared this. And how would, like, today we are different people, but back then, if I suppose I went through that, I would have felt that, am I useless? Or maybe I am, because she's a teacher, or she's my friend or something, and I couldn't do this, so maybe I am useless. And that would be my perspective at that point of time. But
yes,
what if we have a mindset saying that I know I am not useless? Maybe that person abhi frustrated hai, that's why that person is saying that that person wanted you to finish that task within a stipulated period of time, and you couldn't do that, and that person just in the moment said that, okay, you're useless, or no, you can't do this, or whatever it is. And like, I am like, I know I am not useless. That person was not in the right frame of mind, and that's why that person just said, okay, you're useless. Or someone must have been like, ki isse to kuch na ho payega, whatever it is. But this simple shift in thought process, that I know who I am.
yes.
I would say that, Colonel, you're wearing a green t-shirt now. Would you believe that you're wearing a green t-shirt?
No, I'm wearing a blue t-shirt. Yeah.
Just like if someone says to you that you are this, and you know that you are not that, that is
Yes,
not you,
absolutely.
then that is a very simple activity, a simple shift of mindset that one should have. And if these small steps, like having belief in yourself, that what who
Mhm.
you are, self introspection, who you are, being learning about who you want to be, what do you want to develop as a person, growing towards your dreams, and having that mindset that whatever happens, whatever is the external factor, or for that matter even internal factor, we as people question ourselves based on whatever situation is going on, that because I couldn't deal with this problem, XYZ problem, it could be any struggle, it could be a big struggle, it could be a small struggle, we start questioning ourselves, am I not capable of doing this? Or why did I talk to this person in this way?
Mm.
And so it's not only the external factors that could impact our confidence, but even ourselves. But then even
Absolutely.
time, we should be capable enough to understand who we are, and we should, like, bring ourselves together and have that mindset that, come what, I know who I am. जो भी कोई भी कुछ भी बोले, I know who I am, and I should have that core values in me of trusting myself. So
Absolutely. Mm.
just like a person, if you say you're wearing a green t-shirt but you're not wearing a green t-shirt, and you believe that because I can see I'm not wearing a green t-shirt, just like that, you are not that person, whoever the person in front of you is saying that. It's a very simple, like, way of growing and evolving as a person, I believe.
Yes, absolutely. So belief in yourself is very, very important. and also not getting swayed by everybody else's opinion or comments, or not being getting affected. Not I was swayed is not the correct word. I would say not getting affected when you have belief in yourself, when you know who you are and you know consciously as to what you are doing or not doing and why you are doing that or not doing it. Then it brings that confidence in yourself and the feeling of self worth, so that you do not get affected by the adverse comments or adverse opinion of other people around you. Yes, that is again a very, very valid and important point for each one of us to remember. Yeah, Jyoti.
Yeah, I'll tell you, very rightly highlighted by Arya. So, Arya just said you believe you're wearing a green t-shirt. So there is a very important concept I heard 5 years back when I started my coaching journey. There was one super coach who said, Braj was the coach, who asked me that, do you believe you can provide transformation? And I said, yes. You believe, hear the question, you believe you can provide transformation to people? I said, yes. And he asked that question 5 times, and I said, yes. He said, you believe you have eyes? I said, I know I have eyes. So how do you believe you can provide transformation? You know you can provide transformation. So there's a difference between belief and knowing. You know that who you are. So don't believe what people say. Know your true self. That is important. I'll give you an example, Colonel. Last year when I started learning swimming, at that point in time, every morning at 5:30 I have to get up, go to the swimming pool at the designated class timing and all. I was reading this particular book, I don't remember, but I was reading the book wherein it was mentioned that person can be the same, identity can be different. So you can adopt the identity of anyone if you want to pursue that thing or if you want to accomplish certain things. So at that point in time, I just made this statement: I have the body of perfect swimmer. Exactly that moment, when you are trying to get up in the morning, the trajectory changed, right? Every time you are waking up early, you are getting ready, you are going for swimming and doing everything. When you have this in mind, you have the body of perfect swimmer. So whatever you want to do, if you change or adopt that identity, it will be much easier for you. So you want to become Tony Robbins or Arfin Khan or anyone in for that matter, just understand what you want to do. You cannot be Arfin Khan. I cannot be Arfin Khan for sure. I can be Jyoti Pandey. Different
Absolutely.
version. I can be I can be sharing the stage with the Tony Robbins. I can share the stage with Arfin Khan, but I cannot become Arfin Khan. So what do you want to become? If you adopt that identity, the journey smoothens. You are always motivated to get that accomplished.
Yes, absolutely, Jyoti. And you reminded me of when you were talking about the identity. So where especially as coaches, we do these activities with our coaches also, and we ourselves have also done that, visualizing as to what kind of a person I will be, or what kind of a character do I need to develop in myself to become that person who I aspire to become. Yeah,
Correct.
as you mentioned, I cannot be Tony Robbins, yes, but I can be like Tony Robbins, or I can be the Tony Robbins of India, and I can invite Tony Robbins to my event to share the stage with me, or say similarly. So every individual have their own individual characteristics, yes, and from these role models who are around us, whether he or she may be a sports person, or a motivational speaker, or a coach, or a mentor, or even a politician for that matter, statesman. We have many examples of like Nelson Mandela, and then Dalai Lama, and we also had Mother Teresa, who were great personalities, or who are great personalities. Some of them are there, and similarly, we have many powerful figures in terms of, we have the President of the United States of America, Russia, India, who have been a role model for all of us. And one person which comes to my mind is Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So like everybody wants to be like him. He was such a genius, but he was very humble, and he was also the president of India, and he said he could be a great role model for the youngsters of today as to how you can become the best in the world in spite of holding on to your core values, or in spite of being coming from a humble background. So it is possible for us to do anything in our life. However, first thing is, yes, my why has to be very strong. Secondly, I should have that passion, I should have that will to do it, and I should also have the self belief. And then I
Mm-hmm.
should also visualize as to what kind of identity I want to create for myself when I become that person.
Mm-hmm.
These are certain very great thoughts that you both have shared with our audience. Thank you very much, Jyoti and Arya. So before we wind up the session for day, one big message for our audience from each one of you that you would share, so that they can imbibe in their life to become what they want to become, or what actions, what can they do to convert their thoughts into real action, and those action to be aligned with their ultimate goal to become the person they want to become.
I would just say, just believe in yourself and keep showing up. That's it.
Yeah.
Because if you have strong self belief and you're consistent, like Jyoti mentioned earlier, then I think you can achieve your goal or your passion.
Yeah.
And
Thank you,
Colonel,
Arya. Yeah, Jyoti. Yeah.
Colonel, I would like to say, when we talk about the corporates, 85% of the people in these corporate jobs, they don't interact with outsiders. The only connections that they have, the name and the name of the organization, this, these are the only connections they have. They need to get out of that zone. You need to have friends from different industries, different sector, one coffee friend, one lunch friend, one dinner friend, one movie friend. Keep those friends because you get different perspective. And वो कुएं का मेढक कहते हैं ना, नहीं तो फिर हम लोग वो कूप मंडूक बन के रह जाते हैं, कुएं का मेढक. So if you want to grow, you need to network. Networking is the key. You never know what piece of information you can get from Colonel Aditya or Arya or Jyoti Pandey for that matter. So do connect with us. We can change your mindset completely.
Yes, absolutely. And in addition to what you said, Jyoti, yes, you must reach out and connect with people. Also, you must create your own mastermind around you, mastermind of the people, right people who will add value to your life, rather than as Arya had mentioned earlier, that वो बोलने वाले तुमसे ना हो पाएगा वाला टाइप के लोगों को निकालो अपनी जिंदगी से, और उन लोगों को रखो who will say कि I will ensure that you do what you are saying, or I will make you accountable, and I'll get after you until you finish that thing which you have promised to yourself, not me. Because whatever we are doing or not doing is ultimately for ourselves and not for anybody else. Even though we may say कि I am doing this for so and so, or I am doing this for some other reason, but actually the heart of matter is that all this whatever we are doing in our life is doing for ourselves, for our own satisfaction first.
Mhm.
So giving priority to yourself is the most important thing. And until you don't give importance to yourself, how do you expect others to give you importance? That is another thing which comes to my mind as to what we can imbibe in ourselves to become the best version of ourselves. In case our audience who are there, thank you very much for joining us. And in case you have any questions or queries, or if you want to share something, you're most welcome to join us. You can either type in the chat box, or you can send me a request to add you onto this live. Otherwise, you can also do one thing: is you can connect with the Arya or Jyoti or me. I'll share our Insta handles and contact details, and then we can take it forward. Or you can also tell us if you want us to speak or about any particular topic that you have in your mind or any challenge that you are facing, which you are not able to find a solution to. Then definitely we would try and help you doing that. And so thank you, Jyoti, thank you, Arya, and thank
Thank
you
you,
everyone who are there on this
everyone.
call.
Thank
And have a great
Thank you,
weekend.
Colonel,
And
for
we'll see you again.
inviting me.
Thank you, Jyoti, and we'll see you again next Saturday, same time, 4 o'clock. Yeah. Have a great
you.
weekend and have a great day. Bye bye. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.